So you want to learn how to use the Snap&Read Universal Desktop Edition. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do is find the Snap&Read Universal Desktop icon on my desktop. I'm going to double click it to open it. And when I do that, it's going to open up here in the right-hand corner of my screen. I'm going to go ahead and open a book that I have here. This is a book, Call of the Wild, that I went to Project Gutenberg and downloaded for free. If you have not checked out Project Gutenberg, I highly recommend that you Google it. They have tons of free ebooks that teachers are able to download and use with their students. So I've gone ahead and downloaded Call of the Wild. And what Snap&Read is, it's a simple one-button toolbar that reads any text on screen in any application. And all you have to do to make it work is click on it. And now I have these little hashtags, and I am going to draw a box around the text that I would like Snap&Read to read out loud for me. So I'm going to pick a section of text here.
Luke did not read the newspapers, or he would have known that trouble was brewing, not alone for himself, but for every Tidewater dog, strong of muscle and with warm, long hair, from Puget Sound.
So as I read this book, I can just, continue to move down and then snap and read the next section. Although the default placing of this icon is up here in the top right-hand corner of my screen, I actually can click on it and drag it and move it anywhere where I want it to be. So if that's not a convenient location for me, which it isn't right now because I want to switch to another screen view for you, I'm going to drag it out of my way so that I can minimize this screen, and I am going to pull up the web, because I want to show you I'm logged into my OneDrive here, and I've gone ahead and opened a PDF that I had from my OneDrive. And as students are saving documents to their OneDrives, they can also open documents and use Snap&Read to read any text from those documents. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to click on it again. I have my little crosshairs here. I'm going to put a box around the text that I'd like to have read out loud to me.
In 2004, a music magazine compiled a list titled The 500 Greatest Songs of All Time. The song chosen as the 100th greatest begins with a choir singing something economists have been saying for years.
So that's great. It worked really well for me. One thing that I want to point out to you is that the desktop version of Snap&Read Universal does what's called OCR, which stands for Optical Character Recognition. Any text that's embedded inside of an image, Snap&Read Universal Desktop will OCR, or Optical Character Recognize, the text that's in that image and read it out loud to you. So let's take one more example. I have a sample lesson here that's up from a website. I'm going to use Snap&Read to read the directions to me. Let's see if this works. Again, I'm putting a box around my directions.
Directions. 1. Which three nations executed acts of aggression in the 1930s? These three nations formed the Axis powers. Answer the question by clicking the colored box labeled Axis.
Alright, so you get the idea. It's pretty easy. The other thing that you can do is if you click on this little triangle button here, it opens just a very short list of options here for you. You can turn the speech, you can turn text selection on and off. I'm going to click on my settings. I have a few settings. I can tell it to auto speak when I select some text. I can select a different voice here. I can slow the speech rate down. The rate that we had Snap&Read set to when you were listening to this video tutorial is at a -2. Sometimes we find that that's a helpful speed for students, especially students who have comprehension issues or just struggle with reading in general. -2 tends to be the speech rate that's most useful for them. And then you just have a few other options in here of things that you can kind of take a look at. You can change the transparency of the background as you're selecting text. So, or if you want it to be a little more transparent, you can change that. I kind of like the shading to be dark so that I'm real clear on where I'm drawing my box. And that's basically it. That's all there is to Snap&Read Desktop. If you want to, when you're ready to close it out, all you have to do is click the red X down here and it will X out for you. Or if you have multiple students using the same device sharing a device, you may want student A to sign out of student A's Snap&Read Universal account so that student B can sign into their account when they go to use the desktop version, and that way the data will maintain its integrity that it's collecting on your students. I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. Please let us know if you have any questions.